So it's only a matter of time before live events saturate the metaverse. And today, we're going to be brainstorming what these events might feel like. One time I was a tiny Kermit the Frog.
Nickel and diming you. Like, okay.
The one who sneaks the most is the one that lives the most. So.
Oh, I was falling down from the sky.
Like I'm a towel now, yeah.
It's like, get off the stage, tomato.
Yo, what's
And
up?
over and over and over again. Then no.
This can't be real.
That is an umbrella.
I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, log in.
Say that 5 times in a row.
Guillermo, walk us through a VR chat. Have you talked to that peacock over
Yeah.
there?
Up
Talk
to
to
that
one of them.
peacock. Things that only make sense in the metaverse.
You
See
see
if you
that?
can punch them.
Yeah, you see that? No, don't punch them. You can do
Oh.
an animation, like a smiley face.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get myself like sorted here because I'm like in the
Oh,
bird
talk to
set-
that mushroom. So are you hearing some of the people around you?
I can't hear anything. That's what, and I found I could mute myself, but nobody has beaten me to a pulp yet, so I think we're good.
That's nice.
You
So
see
tell
the
me,
mushroom?
what's your feeling about the people you're interacting with right
Well,
now?
they're all creative because I see this donut person here, and I'm just like
Say hi.
mesmerized by their donutness.
Can you
I'm
turn
just
the
gonna
volume up
wave
for a
at
second?
them.
See if we can hear everybody else.
We can.
But they're all kids.
Guillermo, did you go where adults are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guillermo,
What
you
type-
could
what
not
game
be
is
hanging
this?
out with these 13-year-olds.
This
Okay.
is VR chat, so the whole world has memified this. Like, look, there's a meme right here. Speaking of memes, hi.
Perfect. Wait.
Ask him or her
Wait,
how
don't
old
walk
you
through
are.
them.
Whoa.
You see, we're gonna get out of here before we get banned from YouTube. Hi. Is it? No, you know what?
Can
I'm
they
gonna
hear
do?
you?
I muted myself. Look at this potato.
Well, we want to talk to them.
Guillermo, unmute yourself. Let them know we're filming a podcast right now.
How do these kids get these headsets?
Their parents bought
Their
them
parents
for them?
bought for. That's what Christmas is for, you know? How do you see Web 1, 2, and 3?
All right. So I'm going to try this since
Okay.
we're that.
Yep.
My understanding is that Web 1 was the beginning of the internet when it was just text, right? All you could do is click on text. If it was a hyperlink, it took you to other text.
Okay.
That was it. Web 2 was when you could actually interact with other users.
So like a
social media.
forum. Yeah,
Right.
social media. Yep.
Forum, social media. You could build your own domain, your own space. And that was interactive. But then Web3, right, is a connection of all three: people, places, and things. This is my understanding of it,
Okay,
what I've
yeah.
read about
No,
it.
that's
Is that
it,
because
yeah.
now not only is it the internet, it's we can talk to each other, but also you could project something onto the real world. You could, something you're doing in the metaverse, like when I was in that virtual conference, I could take a selfie as myself as an avatar in that conference
Right.
and tweet it out to social media, which made it to the web.
Yeah. Which
So, and
gives
I
it
could
that-
interact with other people who were there who could also take a selfie with me and send it out to their audience. So I think it's a connection of all three. And when the metaverse is fully developed, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to portal into different worlds as well. So whatever assets we acquire, it won't just be for that one world. We'll be
Right.
able to take everything with us because that's the whole purpose of investing in it, right?
Right.
Wanting to take it with us. You know, let's
Yeah,
all,
and that's well, we'll talk about that in a second too, but that's kind of where it seems like the blockchain or NFTs might play into it.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
like how we have been seeing, like how it's been sort of framed in the past 2-3 years, that we see the term metaverse being thrown around a lot, but it's just like, in all terms and purposes, it's just like another video game world. When we see the galleries, for example, the NFT galleries, those are really nice when you see them. Like, you think of it, okay, it's just like a translation of an artwork online, right? But like the application of it, you see more like, I want to see more, you know? Like there's so much like people buying off the lots of land for like, you know, ridiculous amounts of money right now, which good for them, I guess. But like, does the average person get like a benefit out of this?
Okay.
And like the hopes, if they really want to make a real life application to this, is how you can bring it down in such a way that it's accessible to the consumer.
Yeah, because when I think of the Web3, it's kind of got that intersection of where blockchain and crypto sort of give you ownership over something. So I see like NFTs being the digital scarcity where you can actually have an item for a video game or a coin or something that unlocks some kind of digital value and nobody can take it from you. But then it also feels like that's just crypto. So it has to be, used in some, it seems like 3D environment. It's hard for me to imagine the metaverse in 2D, but I suppose that could be it. So that feels very like 1, 2, and 3D in my head.
Yeah, but basically you can bring anything from Web 2 into Web 3 as well, right? So if you're not there, I think the first step would be, even if you're like myself, a content creator.
Yeah.
I want to bring, like, for instance, we bring this podcast into the metaverse, right? So that's bringing either just the audio, you could bring it and you could be an avatar, or you could bring the video screen like what we're doing with the Oculus right now, right? Can't you just project video inside of a 3D world?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so.
That's the easiest way to get in
there. It seems like you might have a fake like this could be virtual and you'll have your virtual avatar, and then I guess you'll actually have the other guests come virtual avatar and sit with you, right? And you'll make eye contact even though you might be a bucket of chicken and a panda or something. Like, do you know what I mean? I love that bucket of chicken. Yeah, well, I saw one when I was like, this one bucket of chicken was talking
however
to me.
You see yourself, yes, if that's what you want to do. I mean, so what I've been told, my friend built a world called the Confluence.
Okay.
And what he told me is possible right now is for something, everyone's familiar with Zoom, right?
Yes.
Right now. He told me something like opening a custom dashboard on your computer, and maybe on one side is your real face, you select your camera, and the other side is the avatar version of you, and it's mirroring your face, your movements, you select your audio. The guests would do the same thing. They would log in with themselves and their avatar, and it would map their face, and we'd just be talking.
Okay, so if you were to create a live experience, whether it's like a magic show or a sports event or something like that, do you think it'll be better to charge for people to enter into it, some kind of fee like Ethereum, or do you think it'll be better to let people in for free and then try to use NFTs to make money? Or how do you think potentially a live performer like Wilbur here could actually get his ventriloquism into the metaverse and be profitable with it? Any thoughts?
From what I've heard people talking about might be possible is having it as an extension to the in-person concert.
So you think Wilbur would actually be doing ventriloquism in his basement or something? Right?
Wilbur, let's see. Wilbur is like, hey, I've been doing really well on the street. I want to see if I can, for those loyal people that support me, create a more immersive experience.
Right.
Let them know that I'm also in the metaverse. And
right. And he wants this big hat. He wants this hat thing.
Right. If you want access to it, buy this NFT, and it'll also allow you to see an act I haven't shown you on the street.
So it would be a ticket. Like you imagine the
Some
NFT
type
is
of ticket.
So there's probably 200 of these NFTs. He's minted them somehow on a blockchain, and then he's given them to people who bought them using another cryptocurrency.
That's what I'm thinking. And then if you wanted to translate it from the metaverse back into the real world, you could be like, and you'll also have a membership for these private shows.
In my mom's basement, you can come down.
Well, not the basement. You would rent an actual room.
I mean, my theater in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Right. Right. If you're a member, then you can. And I think so, as an add-on or an extension of, because until it becomes mainstream, to completely launch it there, I'm not sure.
So I know one thing that's kind of interesting about NFTs is because they're programmable blockchains, you could make it so that every time people sell it to one another, a small portion of it can come back to the original owner. So you can program it in a way where 10% of every sale goes back to the artist, which really is the replacement for copyright infringement. You don't sue people. You just automatically have a blockchain wallet that gets paid every time it transfers around. So maybe these 2,000 or 200 NFT tickets could be something where they get you into his shows forever, and then other people sell them, and then it becomes valuable over time, and he makes money as the tickets just exchange hands. Maybe he could have his own exchange. Like, there's so many interesting ways I could imagine a live performance ticketing NFT kind of thing playing out to make it profitable.
I mean, but we've seen this happen as well, though. Like, if you see it in the video game world, let's take one of the live service games, for example. Like, Fortnite has been like in the top of like the games world for a reason, because they make so much of microtransactions, but also because they have applied like real life like performances and like other events like that. So one of those classic examples of that is when Marshmello like did a performance over the game. So like, it was a free performance obviously for all the players that tuned in exactly at that time across the world, and they got a chance to like rejoice themselves in like the music and whatnot. But the question that I still have not fully looked into is like, what's the residuals for Marshmello here, because they sold dances, they sold like player skins, like little costumes, like even like items that you could use in the brand of Marshmello. And you know that you are the brand itself. You're still selling the brand of Marshmello, even though you may have missed the concept. But you
Right.
see it right there. You see the application of it, even if it's
Right.
even if it's just like in the game, live service game in this particular.
Okay, so
example.
question for both of you. If you were at a event watching Wilbur perform ventriloquism live in the metaverse, would you be willing to spend a penny or two to buy food to virtually, like snack or popcorn? Like, would that be worth any amount of kind of money to you?
I mean, if it was as a I guess an experience way to sort of tip the performer, that will definitely be something that I will be.
You'd be
down to
willing.
do.
You'd be willing to buy some popcorn.
Well, yeah.
If it was like you said, like to tip them, to benefit someone. I'm not buying fake food. Like if that money can go out into the real world and then DoorDash shows up and I can eat the popcorn. But if it's not benefiting the artist, I'm not
Actually,
buying.
that's
Right.
a pretty cool. Actually,
Exactly.
that would be a cool idea.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
another story. So my first movie that I fell in love with about tech was The Net. I know,
Oh.
right? The Net with Sandra
Matt, can you
Bullock.
Google that? Yeah.
The net?
She saved the world from these
416.
hackers. Okay, did you see she ordered pizza early on?
It's
Yeah,
mind
so if
blowing. You can
back-
order pizza and only cost 10,000 bitcoins for that pizza.
Yeah,
probably.
she was talking to her friends and she was getting hungry, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna order pizza," and it showed up at her door. Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard, but do you know that there was one pizza sold for 10,000 bitcoins probably around this time?
Yes,
Like-
I heard the story. And I was like, "Ooh, ouch!"
So this is where you got the idea that you would buy some popcorn and it would show up in real life.
I would buy, and it would show up in real life. She was coding or something, and she got hungry and she ordered pizza, and it showed up at her door.
Have you ever played Mad Libs before?
A long time ago.
What's a funny name for a performer? Paddington No Good or Oliver Popper, Doodalina Witch, anything like that. What do you got?
Old people names, yeah. I mean, like Norma.
So you think that you're imagining this performer is a little bit on the older side?
No, I think it's a young person, but with a super old name.
Yeah, because there's obviously if you want to be a performer, you had to overcome something in your childhood.
Without a doubt.
And
yeah.
getting teased for the name Rufus or Wilbur or Ernest, Dolores.
What about Dolores?
that.
Which one do you like?
Wilbur.
You like Wilbur?
Ooh,
Or
Okay.
Dolores is good too.
So we'll go with that. Matt, what's the meaning of the name Wilbur?
So it has German origin. It means resolute or brilliant. Very smart person.
Okay.
See?
What kind of a performer do you think Wilbur does? He could be a magician, he could be a singer, a dancer, he could be into kneecap jiggling, pogo sticking. What? You know what I mean?
A voice actor could be like a voice.
Okay, voice
like
actor, like a
Ooh.
cartoon.
yes, he just makes different voices.
Or ventriloquism. Do you see it like that?
Wow.
Like a puppeteer, those are fun.
Like he pretends
Those are
he's not
fun.
talking and then talks out of his lips or something, the side of his mouth.
Ventriloquist.
Yeah, ventriloquist. Projects
Yes.
his voice to little animals, right?
Yes.
Maybe, now he needs a couple animals, like little
Panda.
cobs. A panda?
Yeah.
Okay, so he does a little panda family.
Yeah.
He's like, this one's the mom and this one's the daughter. Daughter's name is
I'm liking
Rocky. Yeah, or something
I'm
like
liking
that.
Wilbur already. Yeah.
All right, I like Wilbur too. He seems like a good guy. All right, we also need his frenemy. So this would be someone he's competitive with, probably another ventriloquist. Obviously, they're not enemies, but they do kind of, there's only so many jobs in Vegas for ventriloquism. They kind of compete a little bit. What do you think that person's name is?
like Louis the Mime.
Louis? Oh, maybe a
Ooh,
mime.
like
Okay.
Right away. That's a good one.
Okay, Louis the Mime. I like that. With the object, we can have anything you want. What do you guys got?
Hat?
You could be a hat, yeah. What kind of hat?
Big,
A cowboy
gigantic,
hat?
20-gallon
Or like
hat,
a sombrero, maybe?
Or like the bird. What's his name on SNL? Like the one that wore the big cowboy hat. You mean
Oh.
like that? Like a big
Oh my
foam
God.
cowboy hat?
That's how hats get that big?
They do.
But that's a sun hat.
See, that's a
though.
sun hat. Yeah.
That is an umbrella
That's
on
an
a head.
umbrella, yeah.
I like that hat.
I like that kind of hat too.
You're gonna walk, Rocky. You're gonna
I
walk.
would wear that hat. That's an umbrella too.
You're gonna walk around CES
It
with
could
that hat
protect
this
you.
year.
Not at CES.
You're gonna go to NAB.
Not at NAB, but
Okay, so Wilbur is a professional ventriloquist, and he just saw his frenemy, Louis the Mime, who's a mime. Turns out Louis the Mime is interested in bringing his business of miming into the metaverse. And in fact, miming actually in the metaverse seems like it could be good. It'd be
That could be
like a
fun.
bunch of avatars or something. But the thing is that Wilbur doesn't want to be outdone. So he has come to you, Rocky, and said that he would like to build a virtual performing venue in the shape of a giant hat. and wants to make sure that it can hold at least 200 panda avatars when he's performing.
I love this.
Do you think you can help, Wilbur?
I could do that. Absolutely. Yes, in the shape of a giant hat. Yes. I could do that.
Perfect. Okay, so let's imagine a couple events. So we both saw some of the Ariana Grande and Travis Scott. They were inside of Fortnite, which seems to already be a video game that has people kind of in it 24/7, right? Is it kind of like a World of Warcraft type thing?
No, it's a shooter. It's a battle royale.
So what did it mean when they performed there?
So,
were they playing
like I was explaining to you earlier for like the Marshmallow concert, and like even forgot the earlier performer.
Yeah.
They used to take up like real life stages within the game. They will pause all the combat, so all the players will be funneled into the stages so they can see things happen. So in the beginning, they will have these live events, or like when they announced the latest Star Wars Episode 9, they will bring forth like a stage, like stuff that is happening around, and then they will bring like the director of the studio, a couple of the actors, and like they would like have like a stream going on Twitch, seeing like we're doing this for real. This is actually happening. The contrast here when Ariana Grande performed is that they scheduled the event, but because the game has grown so big in the past 3-4 years since like the previous performances, that they have enough bandwidth within their platform
to render all those
to render a whole show, pre-record the show, but turn it into an experience that happens at this time, so that the gamers can then like just experience the whole show as it's happening.
Crazy.
So, but it's not necessarily a live performance, but like scheduled to happen because they worked in such a way that the player is gonna be living the songs to an extent.
Yeah, so they're pausing the combat. So some people might log in hoping to fight, and they're like, "Oh, there's a concert right now."
The ones that are not aware, because usually they give plenty of advice for like the diehard,
Right.
especially the diehard players that can see it. So in this case, you would have the event begin. You would see Ariana jump onto the stage, and suddenly we're like flying into like the skies that we were doing in various different color patterns and like or in space, and her character appears singing.
Right.
So. And of course, it's a free event for everybody, but once it ended, just like how we were talking about earlier, then all the merch comes around. You see like Ariana's like avatar character pack bundle, whatever.
So you think that's the best thing for Wilbur? He should try to cut a deal with whoever makes that video game?
Well, I mean, you got to have like enough clout, I think, for that.
Well, he does, right?
Well, okay, let's say that Wilbur here.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He's the best ventriloquist that we know of.
Well, yeah, let's assume for a second then that Wilbur here is
Can you imagine the complaints and he's like doing his like ventriloquism thing? They're like, we're trying to play Fortnite, you know?
It's like, get off the stage, tomato.
I bet he would become so famous.
But you see,
internet culture would love it. It would be like, what the heck was that? I loved
because,
it.
Like the beauty of like gaming experiences like that one, for example, it shows us what couldn't be if they applied the right concepts, the right engineering and technology for like VR experiences, like in the metaverse in the future, for example. But like we see that it's already can be done, and you can just sit down on your computer. Can you sit down with your Nintendo Switch or even your phone, just live that experience right there? Sure, it's not 3D, but you can still purchase. You can still buy things that will hopefully, depending on the deal, can support both the studio and the artist.
Yeah.
Sure, you really can't tip them in that extent that we were talking about a second ago.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But like the way how that brand in particular, in like how Unreal Engine has evolved for that in the gaming world, it shows the versatility of it. That it's not just like, okay, games, and like there's still the stigma of the gamers, right?
Yeah.
But then you see like these experiences happen to try to include the more casual players, quote unquote, or like even people that don't play games at all, but they download it because it's a free game. You just download it, you get into the game, and you're there.
I played Fortnite, yeah. But I think they called it a camper. I think that's what they used to call me.
Oh, you're a gamer chick?
Well, I'm not a gamer. I think they call it camping in Fortnite, but I had the app. I had access to it. I saw on my phone.
You know
and
what
I would play it.
Right?
Right. We don't shoot, right?
No, a camper is a person that stays in the same spot and waits for somebody to get to you, and then you just shoot him. So there's no skill. You're just waiting in the corner and just shooting
Okay, so I thought that's what they were calling me. No, I would go places and just
innocent,
hide.
I don't have a gun.
Yeah, no,
but they were
just
like, you're just sitting there waiting to
you were
kill
hiding.
us.
That's
Yeah,
what they
I
call
would
your
just hide.
camper.
Also, that's what they were calling me. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god! But then I actually like lasted a really long time.
That you know, like the one who sneaks the most is the one that lives the most. So
I was just hiding everywhere because I really wanted to play Fortnite, but I don't like shooter games. So
No, that's
there
good.
you
You're
go.
just camping. You're
I was
just like,
just hanging out.
like, I like it. I bring my camp gear. I do my thing.
But to speak to that with live
Dude,
stream,
live stream beach parties. It'd be cool. Camp out, hang out.
yeah, like hey, this is where I'm at, selfie, and yeah. But to speak to that,
Wow.
like artists can raise funds. They're using live stream now on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch to promote their in-person events before they happen, right?
Yeah.
They're going
it makes
live
sense, kind of.
on these platforms to raise awareness about it, to sell merchandise in advance to fill those tickets. You can do the same thing in the metaverse.
Las Vegas kind of has some ambitions, like on a citywide level, to try to bring real world data into a Las Vegas digital twin in some metaverse so that people can actually walk the strip and kind of experience something very similar. And I guess essentially see like the Bellagio fountain show and go across the street to the Paris and gamble. So I'm imagining something like that. Do you feel like that's something that Las Vegas could pull off or would be popular?
I think it would, only because that's how I first started live streaming, was walking down Las Vegas Boulevard.
Oh, you've done that? You've pulled off a live stream?
I have. I pulled off a live stream. Actually, one of my most watched live streams was walking down Las Vegas Boulevard in front of the Bellagio, the fountains of Bellagio, and live streaming it in 360.
I have seen so many of those.
So, I mean, if you could experience that, because some of the most popular comments I've received is people's gratitude for, I'll probably never be able to make it there. Thank you for sharing it with us. If you could create something like that in a virtual space where people could actually feel like they're there too, I think they would watch it. I mean, we have the schedule for the fountains online. I live streamed a song by BTS debuting on the fountains of Bellagio. So it was actually a compilation. It was a mixture of Butter and Dynamite together. And like fans were there singing along, because this is the day before the concert.
Because behind the scenes, Bellagio had scripted the fountain.
I was there for the debut, and across the fountains. Now, I like to believe BTS or part of them were there, because only because the picture the Bellagio had published is if you saw my thumbnail for the YouTube on YouTube, it shows 3 members of BTS, like the back of them, like there for the debut of the fountains. And I'm like, I saw lights across the fountains, like little flashlights. And I'm like, who is that across the fountain? I'm like, was that when they took the image that they published? And I used that for my thumbnail. Oh no, I know it was cut out. So that was me just walking down the strip. But
did you bring him with you? You brought that cutout?
No, other people brought it. Other people brought the cutouts because they knew BTS wasn't going to be there. So they brought the cutouts. This is the day before the concert. So not this one. There's another video.
Oh, yeah, there's the whole.
I'm telling you, we were waiting for the song to debut, and I was like, let me just walk up and down and see what's here. I did not expect full size cardboard cutouts. It was amazing.
Oh my god!
And people were taking.
So funny.
I loved it. It was so exciting.
So when you see a 360 camera and you upload that to YouTube and people put on the VR goggles, is that metaverse, or is that just? Would you just call that a 360 experience?
I would just call that a 360 experience, like a VR experience. If people are putting on the headset, and you mean it's real people?
Yeah,
like
just like
they filmed it with a 360 camera.
Right. Yeah.
I would just call that a VR experience.
Okay, so we're not quite to the metaverse at that point.
No. I mean, you can put that in the metaverse, but that's not
So Wilbur
metaverse
isn't going to be able to just pull this off with one 360 camera.
No, Wilbur. It's hard to say. Wilbur will require additional gear.
Say that.
We're going to have to hire a developer here to build. First, we need a world builder.
I think because
he's going to have to build a space.
I think Wilbur will have the money, because when he sees Louis the Mime going ahead of him, he's motivated. He'll spend his savings on this. So you have been helping people create live video, like live video producer. Is that kind of how you think of yourself right now?
Yes, I am a live producer.
Okay, so that's real-time travel vlogs. That could be network news. You want to just walk me through a little bit about what you've done in the past and like why you call yourself a producer of live streaming?
Right, because I kind of made up the title, right?
Yeah, I like it though.
It didn't exist years ago. It really didn't. I started when I was working in luxury sales on Las Vegas Boulevard. Before that, I was in the creative environment, but I had a lot of collectors of a luxury item, and they were asking me why I wasn't doing it anymore. And then one was investing in this new app, or had a friend who was investing in this new app that allowed you to live stream to people around the world. He's like, you should check it out. I know
that was Periscope.
That was Periscope.
Yeah, which is discontinued now, right?
Right.
Okay,
well, it was purchased by Twitter, right, for like $100 million, and they absorbed that into Twitter. Now it's Twitter Live.
Gotcha.
So it still exists, but you can't download the app anymore. Right. But on my lunch break, I would just walk around and test it out and answer people's questions in real time about Las Vegas. Because I knew everything about it, because I had even worked in VIP concierge for like 6 months, I think it was. So I knew everything high end about Las Vegas. So I was answering questions, and people were like, it was affecting the way people booked the reservations.
Wow.
They would say, oh, I booked it. You were right. That was great.
Yeah,
and
for
I was
sure.
like, oh, this is a thing. Like, I'm in people's living rooms answering their questions, and they're making purchase decisions based off of it. So I was doing that for a couple of years, live streaming, and it ended up to me being involved in marketing activations with companies, travel and tourism campaigns.
That must be such an exciting feeling, just knowing that there's like dozens of people and they're asking you things, and then you're showing them an experience they either aren't ever going to have, or you've directed them towards what they want to experience when they come to Vegas.
Exactly. And they make requests. They say, can you show me this hotel next? Can you do this? Or do you think I should eat here or there? And I would answer. And then the brand started to notice too.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. But to speak to the video that first inspired me too, was I even had people saying, I'll never be able to afford to go there. I'll never be able to experience that. Or, I've been, for some reason or another, they're unable to travel, and they said that it brought tears to their eyes.
Aww.
If they'd be like, I've always wanted to see that, something like that. So that's where I got into it. From there, I started to beta test other apps. Companies started to reach out. Then I was like, oh, can I use it with 360? Can I live stream 360 so that people feel further immersed into it? And just from creating content like that, blogging about it, working with brands. Then I started to guest lecture. A friend invited me to guest lecture at a local university.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah,
just
right.
about the future. Right. The future of media and real-time media. If you're not talking about it when it's happening, it's already late once you post it. And so I would talk about it more. I'd do public speaking. I went to San Francisco and spoke at a summit about the future of real-time marketing and how to use live stream and to affect purchase and just to educate, to inform, to influence purchase, things like that. So from there, it led to me working in news. From there, that was like technology's talking to me right now.
Watches.
That was
shoes,
crazy. My watch is talking
whatever.
to me. But that led to me then being recruited to a news station that needed help. They actually wanted to hire a live stream producer and didn't know what that looked like. And my friend, who was at the time a sports broadcaster, he's like, I know someone. I've seen her on Periscope.
Wow.
And he was like, she can build the digital studio
and there's
for
such a lesson there for people who want to create their own brands,
Right.
and they want to show off their expertise to a world that can then see them and potentially hire them and change their life too. So
Right. If you love it, just do it consistently, and eventually it will be a title. I didn't have a title for it. I was just like, I like to go live. I like to answer people's questions in real time. It provided a solution, and then it led to me being an expert at that, where companies are reaching out for either help with marketing campaigns or beta testing a new app, until I was actually working as a professional live producer, and now I'm consulting.
So walk us through it. Did you feel like you now got a chance to understand what a balloon operator's life is like?
Yeah.
Or did you parachute? What did you just do there?
Oh, I was falling down from the sky.
You were parachuting.
Parachuting, yeah.
Oh,
That.
Okay.
So I'm like, what?
It's like, we do not want to just live stream that. So was it all that you thought? Did you feel a
Yes,
little
I
sense
felt
of
like I was
vertigo or
there.
anything?
I got scared.
Why don't you pick another experience, and we'll have Guillermo
let's see
experience something too. You can walk us through it,
Oh,
Guillermo, as you're
you should
doing.
do this one, Guillermo. It's
What is
scary.
Guillermo, can you go to VR chat? I have that app on there. Will you?
do.
I don't know what. Like, first of all, how the heck can I get the heck out of here?
So
I'm on
that
this
can happen.
tutorial, and I'm like, I feel like I'm out of the whole
Yeah, go. Of
subject.
course, you go.
That can happen where you got someone needs to help you out.
Get me out of here.
You've got to press that exit screen.
Pull out. VR chat is interesting though, but there's something.
Well,
about
it'll be
it.
fun because then we can check out the spatial audio and stuff. So walk up to somebody and let them know you're filming a podcast.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't think they're gonna enjoy that, by the way.
Don't
but,
be like, no, ask them an interview question. I don't know.
well, okay, but what if I find an absolute troll? Because the game worlds are full of that.
Well, don't. If they look like a troll, avoid them like the
Yeah.
plague.
That's
bro.
like
away.
You do not.
everybody
Walk
out
away.
there.
We want a nice story. Ask someone what the
These actions
nicest
need
thing
to
that
be
happened in their week
Yeah.
was.
Right.
If they're a troll, you troll back. You know, we
No,
got
don't
it.
troll back, Matt.
Don't troll back?
That's the wrong way to handle it. No,
No.
kill them with kindness. You overcorrect.
Kindness.
During the pandemic, Jen was watching a magic show, and I thought it was an experience, but it really was just Zoom screens, and there were about 4 of them. And you started in one, and it was a little bit like a choose your own adventure. And you could go to one room or another room, and there were different performers in there, and they'd interact with you. And even that seemed really immersive. But then when I started finding out that there's this 360 experience, I really feel like I'm somewhere else. And now what I want to talk to you about is how is it going to be when the actual 3D environment is built in code, it's a program, and stuff that can't happen in real life can happen. I mean, how do you imagine, I don't know, just all of us hanging out when we don't have the same limitations of just gravity and objects and all of that? How do you think it might affect our society, or where do you think it's going to take media?
I am not a world builder. I am not a developer. I'm not a 3D modeler. I don't have those skills. But from what I've observed,
Just imagining, brainstorming.
right, just imagining. And just from friends that I know that are world builders, what I've seen in their worlds, it's amazing because they can completely customize your experience. I've been in these worlds that friends have created where down to the sound, like the music that they're playing, or you're walking through a forest and they've put the sound of the birds in. I'm like, oh, that was nice. You know, they can curate every part of experience. Even like I'm hearing underfoot, like the gravel.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like when you're making a movie, you know, when they bring in the sound artist, you know, just to make the experience more real, so that the spatial audio, but also the sound at the right time. There's a lot that goes into it. I just think it's going to be an extension of being able to create a deeper experience for your viewer.
Little things have started to kind of make me feel weird. Like one time I was a tiny Kermit the Frog, and I was I was only I was maybe a foot and a half tall. Kermit's very short, like maybe 2 feet tall, maybe. And I was in it for maybe 45 minutes, and I was always looking up at everyone. And it was very strange to start to feel that height. And just taking it off, and all of a sudden I was like, I am a giant, like just in my house, because I was so used to getting, you know, to people's knees, and it just was a very weird experience. So it makes me wonder about how, I don't know, just living as an avatar, if you have a tail, or if you know, just have different aspects of your body, and your brain starts to process that, what it's going to be like.
I don't know. I just think it's going to be cool too. You'll be able to create. You can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
You can customize whatever, like you said, if you want to explore, you know, having a towel, what that would be like, you know, the haptic response when you bump your towel into
like I'm a towel now, yeah.
Oh no, that's there. I got to remember that now moving forward. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Also being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, literally. Like,
did you say towel
virtually.
Or owl?
What did I
Tail.
say?
Tail.
Oh,
having
I
a
pronounced some
tail.
things funny.
Oh, I was
By the way,
like,
okay, you
South
triggered.
Park.
That was triggering because when I was little, I used to say apple instead of apple, and they're like, "What?"
Apple.
I'm like, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I don't know.
Man.
Maybe that was just me. I don't know if I'm the only one that pronounced.
I actually was imagining like being a towel hanging on a towel rack, waiting for like someone to use me, and that would be like the character. And then I was like, no one. She said owl, so it must be. Oh, what she's thinking is being in a forest. That's how limitless this whole world can be, though.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting. You would like to do some VR podcasting. Tell me, if everything goes exactly as planned, how do you imagine it looking in a couple of years from now? What would the experience be like?
Well, because I myself am still learning, still exploring, still networking with other people, I would just say for myself, it would be more of a virtual studio, production studio, helping people get into the metaverse by live streaming their events, whether it be just casting a video in there, whether it be turning yourself into an avatar performing, like the video you sent me of Ariana Grande and Fortnite performing. Being part of that, facilitating that, bringing the creators together that can make that possible, booking concerts in those spaces that may be for rent. So someone builds a world and they have this concert hall, and you walk through the hall, people want to rent space to advertise their concert. So for instance, it's a very real use case. There's a concert that sold out in 2 days.
Okay.
And they have, yes, it's coming up, and they have this long wait list. There's no way to extend it to
BTS? No,
it's not BTS. Okay, that sold out probably even faster. That sold out even
2
faster.
seconds. That's way
that was
too
probably
long
2
for
seconds.
that. Yeah.
No, this other concert, and they're like, "What can we do?" I'm like, "Well, have you thought of live streaming it?" I mean, they're live streaming Coachella.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
They're live streaming Coachella right now. People are enjoying it from their couch.
Oh, Matt, let's go to Coachella right now,
and they
guys.
have multiple channels, so that'll be me in the future, right? When I scale, I'll be able to say, how about we just take this concert virtual, sell in person, but once you've reached your limit, turn it live stream, sell tickets. There's a merch shelf.
So what's the advantage to Coachella right now? Is it about them saying products that people can buy, or is it all about people in the live chat giving them money as they're watching it? Or how do you think it's like, why is this worth it for Coachella to put all this effort into this live stream?
I don't know if anyone can just partner with YouTube like this, but I just thought it was pretty interesting because it's great. It's a great use case for concerts. Like when you have that long wait list, it's sold out, you can still serve the fans by selling them a digital ticket. You can
I see. This is, we got to think of this as overflow because not everybody can get
Right.
there, but this is about just giving that experience.
Right,
In
because
fact,
this is free.
yes, and even the people that are there, they're not cutting into their ticket sales in real life because they're just overpacked right now.
That's what I'm thinking, because we're able to watch this for free, but there is I believe a merch shelf. There's definitely a way to buy merchandise.
Or maybe they just make up their money once again by just throwing 1-minute ads in between performances.
Right? They could sponsor spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Yeah,
say
that
you
could be
throw it
it.
up for free because people will definitely want to be there in person. But for the person that doesn't mind, they just want to watch it, you can still recoup some of your costs.
Okay, yeah. So they got they've got
selling
merchandise. Right. Well, and just brand recognition. The fact that they
Right.
might see it this year and say in some future year, I've got to go to that. It looks so fun.
Right. There's a
Yeah.
VR experience. You can add that as an add-on, even to the people who've attended the event. You want to relive it. You want to see behind the scenes. We filmed, it's not even streamed, a VR experience.
Yeah,
Purchase
that would be cool. Well, choosing different cameras would be cool. Or do you think they're making a mistake not having the 360 thing on this right now?
No, absolutely not, because some people still aren't ready for that. Not everybody has a headset.
Yeah, people just want to watch this live experience, kind of like the Grammys or
But
something.
for those who are ready, who are early adopters, they'll appreciate it.
And throw some flame emojis in there too.
Those are flame emojis. Come on,
Just like
represent.
I saw that other guy doing it. And it seems like it would
we gotta
be,
look cool.
Because you know what I mean? Like, because you're fire. Dude, look how cool that set looks. Yeah, that would.
That looks amazing, right?
I do see how it can be very attractive to wanting people to, I don't know, come to this event live now.
It's only helping to give more people access to it. It's in the future. Like, I'm definitely going to want to make this. But I have my shirt already. Like, I just purchased my shirt. I'm ready for next year. And I will purchase that VR add-on. And then the organizers of these events can recoup the cost with sponsorships. I mean, if it was a VR experience, put the sponsor logo in the nadir.
Okay, so tell me, how attractive is it to you guys if I built a big mountain and it has like owls and birds and all these hiking trails? Would you log in to hike one of those trails if you only occasionally ran into other avatars? Do you want to be alone in nature but also in VR, or would you only like to go to parties for the most part?
I mean, it all depends on what I'm logging on for. Like if the Calm app came up with a metaverse world where I could just go sit and meditate, I would log in for that. And I don't want to run into any other avatars. I just want to be in the middle of the ocean, right?
Yeah. So you're attracted to a very relaxing experience?
Like a relaxing experience.
Wow. What about you? Do you like those kind of experiences, or are you more looking for action?
Well, I mean, if you saw, like, I was just in the bird sanctuary in VR chat a second ago, so and that was nice. If you design the world in such a way that it's immersive, absolutely. Like for example, like once again, like video game technology has advanced in such a way that, you know, like VR, making it into a VR experience is like the bone, like the next step if you want to get there, if you want to work so hard into it, because the gaming experiences nowadays give us such like rich worlds. You see it on like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, for example. You see that in the Horizon Forbidden West, the newest one. You're like in these worlds that
is true.
So beautiful, so like immersive.
So maybe you could look at this game called Red Dead Redemption. I knew someone at Zappos who actually played that game not to like kill the cowboys, but to actually go on the horse and like hang out. I just remembered that. That sounded. So I actually probably wanted to like this hiking thing, but then you said hearing the sound of your foot breaking branches actually appealed to me. I don't know why, but that would be fascinating to me to like walk and hear the crunch of your foot. So I probably would do that. I don't know for how long, but
ASMR, right? People love ASMR, like that soundscaping.
Yeah. Is there a place for those in the metaverse, or that's only you think that?
Okay.
You'll walk up and you're just gonna watch Wilbur like pet an egg, and you're just gonna listen to. You're just gonna put your avatar right up to it.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna be like, let me just hear that.
So
Wilbur, but like petting the panda, the sound of food. People love it.
Oh.
See?
Oh, job simulator. Oh my God, people just want to do work.
Yeah. There are games that you just simulate work, but you do it in a fun way.
This guy's like working at a restaurant.
Yeah.
This is
Farming
It's like
simulator.
Farmville or something. Oh my gosh.
I would watch that. No, people are really.
You would like this experience?
I had someone say to me in a live stream once, "Wow, thank you for just showing me your day. It's interesting, a day in the life." People are very interested in what you do just in your everyday.
So would you work this job if you made a little bit of real money? If people came up and gave you like a hundredth of an Ethereum to make them scrambled eggs?
I'm not doing this. No.
this is not how you cook eggs.
What about you?
Yeah, I know that's wrong too, right?
Yeah, that's completely wrong.
Well, yeah, well, cook it right, or you're probably not going to get paid. If you, I asked for scrambled eggs.
Wait,
Listen, it's 9:04 a.m. I got to get this scrambled egg
look at his
VR before I
hands.
get going.
Dude, these scrambled eggs are
Well,
black
so
now.
that interests me too. Not using the controller, but letting advancements in AI feel where your hands are, because I do feel like that's kind of coming, or maybe one day with gloves that kind of give
with
you
gloves.
some motion capture gloves. Matt, what about this? Would you do this for a living? A little bit of side hustle? Would you work a VR kitchen?
No.
We all were like, no, if we cannot enjoy
what
the
if
food.
money's coming in? $20 an hour?
I'm
you sure?
good, man. Yeah,
Spend
I'm
a couple
good.
hours just making some eggs virtual.
I'm good, Dylan. I'm good.
Okay, what do you guys think about an experience where you go to the gym? So imagine your avatar is sort of skinny, but you kind of need to log into this gym every day and put your avatar on a few weights so they get a little stronger. Everyone else in the gym has to follow those rules too to make if you see a buff avatar, it actually spent time at the gym. Would that be an experience you'd like to log into?
Okay, that might be interesting just to inspire me to move around. But I'd have to have the gear so I wouldn't run into things or hurt myself.
Yeah, but you'd probably have to lay down on the bench press machine and do this. And then maybe, obviously you don't have real weight. Maybe you could bring real weights, but
It could be fun if I get paid. How am I making money at this?
I think this is...
How am I making money? How am I making money? Are they paying me to get fit?
you could, if you want to work at you can work at the gym if you want to make money, but then you'll have to clean up sweat after people are done with the machines. But if you go, this would be an experience just for you to move around and probably talk culture, like gym culture. You'd also be in a room full of people who probably are talking about how they eat and what they do with their days.
That could be nice.
So
Could be nice.
So you think you would log into this experience?
Because I could work out at home. I don't really like going to the gym, but if I could experience interaction with other people, like you said, and if it's an interesting conversation, they're sharing tips with me, and I don't have to leave the comfort of my own home, yes, I would do that.
Okay, so if you were like on the squat rack and then Wilbur came over and was like, "Can I work in with you?" You'd be like, "Sure."
Okay, we created Wilbur, and now I feel like, but I don't want to be Wilbur's gym mate. Yeah, I feel like Wilbur might be not a good
No, you
workout.
can't do ventriloquism unless he stays in good shape.
He'll be
You know what I mean?
distracting.
Or what about the mime? Would you let him work in with you?
Yes,
In the
because
squat?
he'll be silent. I feel like Wilbur might be trying to projecting voice and distract me from my workout. Like, what number was I on?
Because he'll be like, "Can I get in on this thing?" And be like, "Can I do some curls with you? Can I do some bench press?" But he'd have to mime the whole thing. I'd be like, fine. So you'd let a mime work out with you, but other than that, just you want to do your own thing? Okay. What do you think? Would you go to this gym? Log in, log out.
Log in.
I mean, why not?
Log in. Okay.
yeah.
So and you both would log into the Fortnite concert with Wilbur, or log out?
Log out.
Log out.
I don't know, Wilbur. I mean, I'm always down for a concert. Let's do it. Let's see.
Okay, so log in.
Yeah, log in.
Okay, and the experience about going on the hike, log in, log out.
Oh, I said log in already.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
log
love
in.
you, I guess.
I think that would be peaceful.
I think we all like that. I want to hear that. I actually was going to log out, but now I want to hear that crunch
Yeah.
thing. All right, how about, let's go through a few different sports. Would you like to watch a football game in VR? These would be seats somewhere in the stadium. You would have 90-minute experience watching players throw football, move yards. That sound pretty fun to you?
If I'm in the front, yeah, like I'm like right there. I'm like next to the coach, and
Well,
that's a cool.
I mean, that could be the expensive tickets. If you're going to do that, if you're going to invest in the game, what if you're in the medium seats?
No, I might as well get the ticket and be there. But if I'm getting experience I can't have in person, I would.
Are you just going to walk up there, or you have to sell seats to, I mean, because your avatar goes through people. Are you just going to, because the usher will have to, I assume Matt's working some extra money side hustle as a usher. So he'll probably have to take you back to your,
Yeah.
you'd be like, Rocky, I'm sorry, you're not in this section. Could we bring this avatar back?
That's what we'll probably have
That'll
to
be
do.
funny.
But I could imagine, somebody comes, they could sell you hot dogs, they could sell you popcorn. I could see football fans being around you. Maybe we even sync it. What if it was synced to a real football game? So it was like 1-for-1, like whatever's happening in the real game, it was happening there. You just got to see it differently. Instead of actually watching it on TV, you're watching virtual avatars, but they are the same players and they are in the stadium they're in. If it's raining, it's really raining, simulated. No, not your thing.
Like if I was really looking for human interaction, and let's say we were like back in lockdown, for example, how we saw like a lot of sports matches happen, like just players. I mean, and technology is advancing so much, and nowadays you can probably have like laser sensors looking at the players and like translation onto that.
Yeah, let's say we're trying our best to bring all that in.
Because you're looking for ultimately that's the human interaction that you're looking for. Because if you're just doing it just to like sit down, you might as well just watch television. Like here, like
you could bring your
right there.
Yeah, would you want to bring your friends, or your friend, like Las Vegas Raider friends in and go watch the game?
Well, yeah, because that's ultimately that one, the opportunity to have an experience with people that hopefully and like, so that you make it worth your while. Because like right now we have so many mediums that we can just. If we want to just be ourselves, we got the phones right here.
Dude, especially if you're a fan of a football team that's in another state, that'd be cool, because then you'd be like, go to the stadium and be with those people.
Yes.
It'd be fun. Or people who leave colleges. Okay, I'm going to log in. What do you think?
Yeah, I will log in.
Only with people I will log in.
Only with people.
All right, next one up is a circus act. So think Barnum and Bailey. You get to sit in the audience. Of course, these are all with your friends, but you'll watch, lion tamers, the elephant thing, the trapeze artists, all virtual avatars. One if they're mapping to real life, and one if they're just animation. Does that sound like a fun thing if it's just animations? Log in, log out.
Depends on the price.
Price.
$4.
If it's $4 and it's like a one-time performance fee.
Tickets range from $2 to $30, depending on how close to the elephants you want to be.
Okay, but we're talking like
$5 will get you a decent seat.
Like we're talking for like the human
nickel and diming you. Like, okay.
But the human performance is just like a digital translation one-to-one that they're actually performing live, right?
Yeah, well, first let's do the one without the true performer. So there isn't anyone doing it first, but then I will ask you that right after.
Well, if it's like a one-time experience and they're testing out the water so they can do it like a more safer circus experience, especially for the animals, yeah, then absolutely. Because then, like circuses are expensive, like quality of life, especially for the performing animals,
we could
pretty difficult.
Because we're not going to bring the elephants back in real life. Might as well do it in the VR world.
Right, exactly. A good alternative. Why not?
Clowns, you get clowns. Okay, so you would log in or log out of the not one-to-one real. This is just a VR experience.
Like the just random computer generated
experience. It's just some programmer made it, but it's not actually mapping.
If it's cheap, yes.
$4?
Yeah, if it's $4, I'll log in. Boom.
What do you think? You like that experience?
If it's $4, log in for my niece and nephew.
So does it become more valuable if it's actually real trapeze artists that are being motion captured?
Yes.
How much would you pay for a ticket?
Well, definitely I will go more for like a standard ticket price, like $10, $15.
Okay.
Because we know we're seeing like the human interaction and the chance of human error to happen.
And that's exciting to you?
Well, yeah, because like we're seeing the human factor in this. Because then if you only see like what computer generated programmable avatars, that the computer is always gonna, unless it's given the programming to give you like a error-filled circus show, then it's gonna give you a perfect performance, and that looks robotic. That doesn't look natural.
That's interesting. Does it go up in value for you, knowing that they're real mappings?
Yes, the talent, the artistry that went behind it. This is their art. I would pay more, absolutely.
Right.
A real person
that's so
behind
interesting.
it.
It's a good point.
But again, this is if the computer tries to emulate human life. But if the computer is programmed to, or even if we develop an intelligence that likes circuses, and the intelligence here is like, I'm gonna make it different shapes, more abstract, or different animals, or even my theoretical random made beings, then I will give it more of the benefit of the doubt for that one. But if it's just programmed to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, then no, it loses the value.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about. Yeah, if it's unique, then that's different. Like when he was just showing this experience,
that's what I thought you were
talking about at first. I thought you were talking about like literally sitting a VR camera in a seat and selling that seat.
So I was imagining something virtual, but this is incredible.
This is what I thought you were talking about at
I'm
first.
thinking if I put on a VR unit and experience this, that seems maybe worth 20 minutes of my time. Like that's
save this
cool.
link, Matt. I need to look at this.
Everyone gets a front row seat with this. This is why I thought you were talking about this at first. If you were talking about putting a VR camera in a seat and everyone that logs in has a front row seat, you're getting a whole different experience. That's what I meant for like a football game. Well, yeah, if or a basketball game, I'm on the court. Yes, I will buy that seat. Because
so why not take a real football game with a real 65,000 person filled stadium, but reserve one seat and the best seat, and make that for everybody who wants to pay just $4 or $5 to experience it, because they can look around.
That's true.
Right.
It would
Right.
probably
And
make
the
a lot
seat
more
next
money
to them
than
is
ticket.
probably going to be like a celebrity or someone, since that's probably like a $20,000
Right, sitting right
ticket
next
or
to
something.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
that's
how could you ever
interesting.
experience that and relive that? You can have this on video,
Yeah.
but to relive it sitting next to
That's
Spike Lee or
interesting.
something, like, oh wow, like that's cool. I would buy that.
Dude,
could
you know
sell
what
that.
else would be fun is to be in the announcer booth. I'd actually maybe even like to see the tech person. It
Go to
would
see my job.
Yeah, it would be
the
fun to
live
be.
producer switching.
Yeah. I was going to say locker room sounds fun, but not when everyone's changing. But like it would be cool to see all sorts of aspects of how the stadium is run that I just wouldn't normally see. Yeah, I would like that a lot. I guess that's why there's some of these live streamers are becoming so popular, because it is fun. It's fun just watching people walk down the street. But if the NFL had access to a ticket like that and they could sell it a million times over and it's still just one camera taking up one seat, there's a lot of money in that. That's why they should, those are the people that should call you.
That's what I'm already
That's what
trying
you
to
help
work
people
on
do. Yeah.
right now, is to be able to live stream these events, multi-camera live stream, but have one roaming camera, somebody walking around capturing behind the
Yeah.
scenes, and then selling packaging. It doesn't have to be live, because that requires a lot of VR experience, because you can live that over and over again, and not just the people who weren't able to attend it, but the people who were able to attend it, who want to be
Yeah.
there again.
Okay, Broadway theater, do you think that would take away from the prestige if they did something like this at Broadway? Do you feel it's too expensive and too luxurious to share online? Or do you feel like they would be making a mistake by not creating a live stream for us to all enjoy?
I think they want that, right? Because if anything, to help people to appreciate the arts more, to get it would only add to the value of it by introducing it to an audience who maybe doesn't already haven't experienced it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, let's see Hamilton, for example. Hamilton had their own recorded
That's
performance
what I
premiere
was
on
thinking
Disney
too.
Plus.
Yeah.
So like,
But that was years and years after it left Broadway. I mean, they
it's
didn't
still
put it
on
up
Broadway.
there.
What are you talking about?
Or-
It's out here.
It's
They
all
come back
different
to
people
town.
now,
But
right?
they
It's all
didn't do
different
it. But they
people.
definitely kept it an exclusive event for a long time.
Well, yeah, because like, so then we're transitioning into the conversation of like, what about the so-called quote unquote high art? How like on its survival in this, like, you know, in the new age, for example.
Right. Yeah.
The tools are here, and there's so many performers that want to bring those performances onto the online scene. You got you often see like channels like, for example, Classic FM, for example, is like one of those UK classical music radios that they transmit live performances. And, you know, public radios also do that, like stream the audio from these performances, and like in YouTube you see that as well. So like if you find the next step in which you can create like a free accessible like virtual experience that can be experienced, whether it's in a service game like Fortnite, for example, unlikely to happen, but like different game services, or even you create a virtual experience on theaters like that, then you can take it to the next step. Because I mean, otherwise, like creative theater such as the Opera Theater in Bregenz, Austria.
The Met has that actually.
Yeah, like
Really?
They do have it.
like
It does?
They have
That's
virtual
cool.
streaming.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and every theater is unique in that regard.
Mhm.
Like an example of how you can almost create like a somewhat VR-ish world or like unique experience to the music is how the Bregenz Theater does it out there in Austria. That they have like this stage next to the water, and they rebuild it for every different opera that they have.
Wow.
So then you see like the imagination of the art director of like big animals in books, or like just like the opera is being acted out. So like you have that in live performance, but imagine if you can translate that to an online performance, whether it's like you donate $10 to the cost to save the theater because we're doing this translation.
Sure.
That's a different way of looking at it.
So, okay, what about a quick change to that? So imagine you're at the Broadway theater, you're watching something like Hamilton, and you have the option to put on AR goggles. So this would be augmented reality goggles, not virtual reality goggles. You actually are there in person, but these augment information. So the name of each person who's on stage, a link to their IMDb, maybe some information about like how many feet off the ground they are when they're performing a flip. But that would be something that Broadway would try to customize to give you more context. Would you log in or log out to AR glasses in the theater?
I don't know if
Either.
I want it in the theater. I feel like it's something I purchased after the fact, or because they do that.
So the second time you saw it, or you're saying
I don't know if I want that in the theater, because something with like Broadway
Okay, so log
for
out.
for a different use case, but not Broadway. I could definitely see that for something else.
Maybe a football game, you would do that to see
Maybe
the name of all the players.
Only because I don't really get football. I don't. So, but that will be cool.
Oh, so you might want it to actually tell you like the 10-yard line means they have to move the ball 10 yards.
Yes. Put it on an NFL
see
game.
that, yeah.
I'd be like, what player is this number? And I click, and then I look, and I'm like, oh, that's their history. They're where they're from. Okay, now I know. Then I wouldn't have to bother the person that I'm with asking these silly questions.
It's interesting, but you feel like there's something special about Broadway where you wouldn't want to muddy up the experience with an AR glasses.
That's just me.
So you'd log out? What do you think?
If it requires more interaction from the audience, like a sport, absolutely. I think if you were to include it in like a concert performance, maybe you would like to see that prior to the music started or like in between pieces, because again, the whole other conversation of high art and all like the what is that? The audience rules and guidelines that can get a little bit, weirded out, because you get like the request of like silence at all times for the performance, because you want to stay immersed.
Yeah.
That's what makes it more difficult for like musical performances like that, because you require the audience, you're asking the audience, shut up.
So you're tuning out all this other
and if
stuff.
You're
that's why the lights go dark. That's why you zone in on something.
Yeah.
How about if you're going on a hike in real life, AR goggles to tell you what birds are in the trees and maybe information about the plants or animals around you? Would you log in or log out of that experience?
Oh, I log in. Wait, do you still log in?
Yeah.
I will log into that for sure, especially to like identify poisonous plants. That would be great.
You'd use it for security reasons.
I'd use it for everything. Bird watching, security information. You're this far from the next station where you can eat and have water.
You don't think
again.
that would take away from your peaceful, relaxing?
Not at all, because there'll be a swipe to clear it all feature, like remove it and then like, okay, bring it back.
Okay, so you'll like to selectively just bring that in, bring that out. Log in or log out for you in the hike situation?
It depends on the hike, quite honestly with you, because like you're going out
something nice, peaceful, like 30-minute thing, nothing too.
Yeah, if it's something
not Mount Everest or something, I think we all
right.
Yeah.
If it's not something, even Zion, for example, like you see, the thing is that weather, especially in certain seasons, can be unpredictable. And nature is nature after all.
So maybe some weather warnings,
so,
you'd like all that stuff to be coming in at you.
Understanding what the weather will be like and knowing that you're not going to encounter too much nature that can get scared because of you and do a bad reaction, like a snake or something like that, then, then yeah, definitely. Because once again, you want your attention to be where you're at the moment.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And that's where, like, going back to the VR conversation, you have more control of removing threats away from you. Yeah. And you can take care of your time and like on the VR world and like click on, okay, this pretty bird is a whatever. And you can take your time with it. Yeah. But in real life, you know that you're under the mercy of the weather, the elements, the sun.
Augmenting a reality show, like say you were sitting in a America's Got Talent kind of situation, would you want to augment it and have a vote, like a way to interact with whether or not that person moves on to the next round? Or would you prefer to let the judges actually do that the way it traditionally is? And then your vote doesn't count.
That could be cool. And also too with the facial recognition where they can read your emotions. Like what if they were already gathering data from the audience?
Yeah, let's say you don't even get to vote. Yeah, let's say they just instantly know if you like it or not. Would you log in and let them take that information? And do you feel like they'd be helping?
Yeah, they'd have to definitely notify us before we walked in that your face is being read and your emotions. I would do that.
Your emotions would be your sweat is like being measured and like you're like
Log on. I like that.
Okay.
I have nothing to hide.
What do you think? Log in or log out?
I don't know. It depends on how they apply that data that they capture, because to me I would say log out right now, because like if it's live television, reality TV, you know that the attention is gonna be for the judges with the talent, because that's where the drama and the tension is created, because everybody in the audience knows that they want to hate on this fella right here that is making the performers live a living hell. Right. So the whole point is the camera's always fixated on that. They do some occasional looking at the audience because they know they're really into it. But ultimately, no matter how greatly or badly they react to it, the decider is always the judge.
Yeah.
Well, unless you are doing like a live voting for like how do they still do it for American Idol? That hey, call us so and so.
Yeah, they kind of have done something like that. Yeah, where you call in.
I haven't seen it in a while. I always watch on YouTube. I watch things after they're done.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like the ones that make it you next week.
I'm like, is this like this year? Or I don't even know if it's
Right.
this year anymore, but that's where I watch it.
Okay. All right. So just kind of recapping, going back to where we started, for a final question, if Wilbur came to you, and even though he obviously wants to beat this mime and he wants this big theater that's inside of a hat and holds 200 pandas, he also is nervous that it's not for him or he's not capable of upgrading his ventriloquist act. How might you guide him, step by step, leading him into a world where this makes sense for somebody who's very web kind of 1 and 2.0?
I would tell Wilbur I can relate. I was someone who was also confused about the metaverse for a very long time. And what I did was I started small. I just did a lot of reading. I asked friends who have experience as world builders or developers, and I started small with just creating content that could be put into the metaverse. So I think that we all can have a part in it, whether it be a supporter, participant, or content creator. That can be our way of just entering the metaverse. It's a little bit at a time, but just ask a friend.
Okay, so you might start with just like, why don't you just get a ventriloquism puppet NFT and just start there, get a wallet address, and then maybe you'd have him start with a live stream or something.
I think maybe
just,
a live stream.
Just get on YouTube or Instagram or something and do a little live stream of his performance. And then once he had some momentum there, what would your next step be for him?
I think if there's someone, maybe there's a billboard or something, like a video billboard in someone's metaverse where they're offering up space to new acts.
Those definitely exist.
Right?
Yeah.
When they'll be like, we'll play a 10-second clip of your act in our world on this video billboard if you, through a game that they play, can win a certain amount, like an NFT, whatever.
Okay.
And then you can purchase that spot. Maybe something like that. It could be gamified.
Right.
Where, okay, you don't have an NFT yet, but what if you played this game? Then you can win.
Do you think, if he came to you today, do you think one of the first things you recommend is that he buy an Oculus or a VR headset? Or do you think that's a little too much? Can he just do it with traditional laptop and webcam elements? Or what equipment do you think you'd probably recommend?
I would, only because even with my business, I think I always tell people to start where you are with what you have. And I would start with just filming it. If you just have a phone, get someone to film it, load it onto web.
Okay, so you would just have Wilbur's girlfriend in the audience, sit in the front row and record his puppets or whatever, talking to each other.
Film it and then also do a live stream so you can get real-time interaction, work up to being able to sell some merchandise.
Start with a YouTube chat probably or something like that.
Yeah, maybe start with chat.
Okay, until he starts getting some. What do you think? Patreon, is that
Patreon.
Wilbur's alley or Wilbur's alley?
Maybe, yeah, for him just to raise some awareness about his talent until he grows an audience and has content. I mean, if you have anything in Web 2 can be brought into Web 3. You never know. There might be a way for him to have that video projected into a world. Like I said, maybe someone may be able to he might be able to win space.
Interesting. Where do you think he should perform? Like, do you think he should walk up and down the Las Vegas Strip and just have his girlfriend live stream him while he just does it to random people? Or how would you get him to break out of the YouTube algorithm or the Instagram algorithm?
Okay, so right now he's only on YouTube, right?
Yeah. What would you recommend? He's willing to do whatever you recommend he does.
He definitely has to check first because there's some areas now you can't perform on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Oh,
he definitely needs to make sure he follows the rules.
Oh, right? And if they see him on the live stream, he's like, I didn't do it. They're like, listen, the cops are like, we've been watching your live stream. Like. You were doing ventriloquism right in front of Bellagio. You know that's against the rules.
Well, they're talking about it now. I saw a recent article on it that they're thinking about limiting where you can do that. So he better get it done soon. Get it done soon. Did you see that? So so get filmed while you can in an area that's safe to do so, where you're allowed to, and then put that on the web. Make sure your audio is good because people will tolerate bad video. Just okay video, but they will not tolerate.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, audio is way worse. When it goes bad, I'm like, can't even listen.
Oh, yeah, right? You cannot tolerate bad audio. No. So just do that. If you don't have professional lighting, at least have window lighting. The window lighting shining on you, not behind you, so that you're not a silhouette. And film yourself and put it on there. Just try your best. Nobody starts off perfectly right, but just go live. Your audience will find you.
Okay.
They will.
Would you try to tailor his content? Like, should he have his puppets talking about like whatever's trending in the news? Would you try to get him to like hit the algorithm? Or like, would he be like, something like Will Smith slap and then like just to get
Don't do it because people know when you're trying to do that. My advice is just what I know worked for me, and live stream does work because it reaches a very large audience. And if you title it right, you have a great thumbnail, which you can select and load before you go live, and just be consistent. say what your passion is, tell your story, the people who can relate to you will be loyal. They'll subscribe eventually. But if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. But if you're passionate about it, you're consistent. You tell a story people can relate to and you show up, they will show up for you. It happens. Go live. Just go live. And then from there, I will help you when you're ready to scale to the next step, to add another camera or another phone and to have switching abilities. And then we'll work out getting you a billboard in the metaverse.
Okay. I'm sure Wilbur is very happy that he met you. So thank you for coming on the podcast and talking to us just about this, metaverse future and where live streaming can take you. So I appreciate your time and thank you.
It's been fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll just take 2 minutes, then we have reaction.
Okay.